Stephen A. Smith just said exactly what the WNBA probably did not want to hear, and he made his position very clear. He strongly defended Sophie Cunningham while taking aim at Brittney Griner, refusing to hold back on either side. His comments came after new and surprising details about Griner began circulating, raising questions that could change the way some fans view her career, including her WNBA championships, Olympic gold medals, and past confrontations involving Caitlin Clark, one of the league's biggest stars. In this video, we'll break down what is being reported, what Stephen A. Smith had to say, and why Caitlin Clark continues to find herself at the center of these heated WNBA discussions. If you support Sophie Cunningham, let us know in the comments.
This is not about being anti-anything. This is about being pro-girls, pro-females, pro-women, pro-ladies. That's what this is about. You can't be a male, born a male, transitioning to female, and think that you should have the right to compete with women. Not in basketball. Not in football. Not in boxing. Not in the UFC. Hell, not even in tennis.
You would expect a story like this to disappear after a few years, just like most internet theories do, but that has not happened. Instead, the claims keep resurfacing, with people adding new details and alleged evidence along the way. One of the biggest points being discussed involves Griner's time detained overseas. According to the claims circulating online, she was allegedly placed in a men's detention facility rather than a women's facility. That detail has become a major part of the discussion and is one reason the theory continues to attract attention.
WNBA crew are very fond of virtue signaling, but even when it comes to Brittney's exchange for like the Merchant of Death, which is insane, by the way, but had that been just like a straight white girl, my guess is that straight white girl would probably still be rotting in a Russian prison.
Then there are the videos. One clip from Griner's own social media account reportedly stayed online for months without being flagged or removed. That has led people to question why the platform's automated system did not detect anything unusual, especially since social media platforms use software designed to identify and review potentially sensitive content. Some online theories claim the system simply processed the image as normal content and allowed it to remain online. Supporters of that theory point to the fact that the same video reportedly stayed available for an extended period without triggering an automated warning or review. However, the fact that a video remained online by itself does not prove the claims being made about it.
Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the hell out of here, yo. Yo.
Tell me why.
Jab stepping, it's a brick. Swing and a miss.
Oh!
Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
That this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram.
Then there's the DNA test claim. An alleged leaked report has been circulating online, with people claiming that it supposedly identifies Griner's genetic makeup as male. The document has been shared widely and has quickly become another major part of the same online discussion surrounding the detention facility story and the social media video. However, the authenticity and accuracy of the alleged DNA report have not been established, so it should be treated as an unverified claim rather than confirmed evidence.
When it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors, but specifically the AI detection to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a bare female chest, we have to take this down. It obviously assumed that Brittney was.
Throughout all of this, Griner's side has reportedly not issued a public response, denial, or legal action addressing these claims. The WNBA has also not publicly clarified the rumors, despite the league responding quickly to other controversies involving its players. That lack of a response has fueled even more online speculation, with people connecting several separate claims, including the detention facility story, the social media video, and the alleged DNA report. None of these claims should be treated as proven facts without reliable evidence, but they were already circulating widely when Sophie Cunningham made her comments. Her remarks therefore landed in the middle of an ongoing online debate that had been building for months. What might normally have been viewed as another athlete's controversial opinion quickly became a much bigger story as fans connected her words to the rumors surrounding Griner.
I've heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely.
Whether the rumors are true or not, the lack of a clear response from the WNBA has kept the online debate alive. At the same time, something much more concrete was happening on the basketball court, something Fever fans witnessed themselves rather than hearing about online. Then Stephen A. Smith dedicated roughly 14 minutes of his own show to the controversy, and he did not shy away from the subject. He openly addressed issues that many people around the WNBA may have been discussing privately but were hesitant to talk about publicly. His first target was not Brittney Griner, but Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve, after she wore a "Trans Kids Belong" shirt during a nationally televised game against the Indiana Fever.
We gotta stop this. We gotta stop acting like somebody that's speaking up on behalf of girls, like a Sophie Cunningham, like a Riley Gaines, are scourges of the earth. You are Cheryl Reeve, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx. That is an irresponsible thing to do. You are a coach for a female basketball team. Do you not think that the females are being screwed over if they have to compete against an individual born as a male?
Smith's argument was straightforward. Because Reeve coaches a women's basketball team, he believes her priority should be protecting fairness in women's sports rather than using a nationally televised game to promote a political message, especially while one of the league's biggest stars was playing. He connected that moment directly to what Sophie Cunningham has been saying and accused Reeve of putting personal beliefs ahead of the WNBA's image, business interests, and sponsors. Smith repeatedly stressed that, in his view, his position was not about attacking anyone personally. He described himself as supporting girls, females, and women, while arguing that transgender women who were born male should not compete in women's sports. He made a distinction between someone transitioning and the separate question of eligibility to compete against women, saying the debate was about sports competition rather than whether someone should be allowed to transition. Smith said this was essentially the same position Cunningham has been expressing and argued that a large portion of the public shares that view. He also criticized the WNBA's veteran leadership, claiming they are disconnected from how many Americans actually feel about the issue.
Tell me that a college player for the men's at a college program anywhere in the country, or an NBA player should transition to being a woman and be allowed to compete in the WNBA?
What made Smith's comment stand out was his claim that some WNBA players may privately share similar opinions, but are afraid to speak publicly because they could face online backlash or tension within their own locker rooms. He argued that the league has created an even bigger controversy by refusing to address the issue directly and said that this silence could leave female athletes feeling overlooked or unfairly treated. Smith also connected Reeve's shirt to the WNBA's business interests, pointing out that it was worn during a nationally televised game featuring the Indiana Fever, one of the league's biggest draws. In his view, making a political statement during such a high-profile broadcast could potentially hurt the league's relationship with fans and sponsors. Smith questioned how Reeve could make that choice without considering the possible impact on the WNBA's reputation, audience, and financial interests.
For a male and transition into female, you should be playing against the women. Nobody said you can't transition from male to female. The issue here is competing against the women. That's what Sophie Cunningham was talking about. That's what Riley Gaines is talking about. How are you, Coach Cheryl Reeve, and you could condone that?
Smith was not simply commenting from the sidelines. He was calling for accountability and openly supporting Cunningham's position on transgender participation in women's sports. But Cunningham's own comments were even more direct. After a dominant Fever win, reporters approached her with questions, and she did not avoid the subject or try to change the topic. She calmly explained that she wanted to protect young girls in sports and believed they should not be placed in competition against biological males. Her message was brief, firm, and delivered without shouting or creating a scene. That calm and straightforward approach was a major reason her comments received so much attention.
The BG for 6 years, and so I know her like the back of my hand.
On that same vein, in that story with ESPN, you talked about wanting to protect young girls who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Just can you expand your viewpoint on that?
I mean, I think I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children. And that's, little girls, who are also involved in that category. And so, I stand on what I said, and, I always believe that.
Cunningham described her position as common sense and made it clear that, for her, the issue is about protecting children, including young girls who participate in sports. She was not presenting it as a distant policy argument, but as a question involving real athletes, locker rooms, and young people. Because she delivered her message calmly and without attacking anyone personally, her comments stood out even more. Instead of an angry rant, viewers saw a WNBA player explaining her position in a measured way, and that quickly sparked conversations across social media and group chats. In an ESPN interview released the previous day, Cunningham also pushed back against people accusing her of being anti-trans, explaining that she had never said she hated transgender people. She said her intention was to show love while also being honest about what she believes is true and fair in women's sports. That combination of compassion and firm conviction became the central message behind her comments.
Everyone always is coming at it as a negative. Well, me coming out with that, there's so many people who are coming out with the positive, saying, you know what, finally someone has said something. And I don't really look at either side of those, because I know whatever I say, I'm going to get hate and I'm going to get love. And if I'm going to live by the love, I'm going to die by the hate. And that's just not who I am. I beat to my own drum. And so people are always going to have something to say. You could win the championship. You could be the best at whatever it is. And there's still people who are going to hate on you. And so, that's just what this world is. So I'm confident in who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I'm happy being me. I'm going to continue to be that.
Cunningham then connected her position to the legal history of women's sports, specifically pointing to Title IX and saying she strongly believes young girls and women should be protected in competition. She argued that Title IX, introduced in 1972, played a major role in creating opportunities for women in sports and helping build the level of women's athletics people see today. Her point was that without those protections, women's sports would not have developed in the same way. Her comments also came during a wider national debate over transgender participation in women's sports, following a Supreme Court decision that, according to the discussion surrounding her remarks, addressed states' ability to restrict transgender women from competing in women's sports. Supporters quickly praised Cunningham and said her comments reflected changing public opinion, while critics argued that her position unfairly targeted transgender people who already face significant public scrutiny. The debate became highly divided, with strong reactions coming from both sides.
When it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why you have some of the greats in women's sports. If Title IX and women's sports weren't protected, then you wouldn't hear about any type of women in sport. And so I think in the future, it's just really important to protect.
Cunningham made it clear that she did not view her comments as a political statement. She framed the issue around fairness and safety in women's sports rather than opposition to anyone's personal identity. That is why she continued to emphasize the idea of love while also maintaining a firm position about who should compete in women's competition. Once her comments became public, they were quickly connected online to the separate rumors and allegations already circulating about Griner, including the detention facility story, social media videos, and an alleged leaked DNA report. However, those claims remain unverified and should not be treated as established facts. Cunningham did not mention Griner by name, but many people online interpreted her comments as being connected to the broader controversy surrounding her.
Don't dislike anyone. I think there is room for absolutely everyone here, and I think there's room to love everyone. And I truly think when you get people in the same room and you have conversations, you actually have a lot in common with a lot of people. And so I'm there to love, but I'm also there to love biological women, and I think that there are rights that need to be protected. And like I said, I'm going to stand true to that. I'll never falter in my beliefs in that, but I have never once said I hated the trans community. Like I said, I think there's space for everyone.
Go back to 2024, and that is where many fans believe the tension began. During a game, Griner poked Caitlin Clark near the eye, an incident that quickly drew attention. Afterward, instead of focusing only on the play itself, Griner reportedly complained about the large crowds surrounding Clark's games and how the attention affected her ability to concentrate. That created an unusual contrast for fans. Clark had just taken a physical hit, while Griner was discussing the attention and crowds that came with Clark's growing popularity. Clark did not make a major issue out of it publicly. She continued playing, producing on the court, and attracting bigger audiences, while the incident became another moment fans pointed to when discussing the tension surrounding her relationship with other players.
She took some contact there from Griner, doesn't get the call. Working the baseline, knocked off the underside of the backboard, did a nice job to recover, and bounces inside.
This whistle's for a clock issue. Clark's still upset after that hit.
Oh, this is what Caitlin Clark is upset about. The screen set by Griner. Yeah, in a little bit movement with that.
Fast forward to 2025, when the Fever faced the Atlanta Dream, one of Griner's former teams. During the game, Griner made contact with Clark in what appeared to be a body check, and the play was visible from several camera angles. No whistle was blown, and no foul was called, including no flagrant foul. Griner was also accused of directing profanity toward Clark from the bench, but there was no reported technical foul, fine, or public league response connected to the incident. For fans who were already watching the relationship between the two players closely, it became another moment that raised questions about how physical contact and verbal exchanges involving Clark were being handled.
Griner, who I can't stand, sad that she's a Baylor grad. She called her a trash, expletive white girl. That was the lip reading. Yes, trash, white girl. Trash, blanking, white girl is what she says.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
Then came 2026. Griner was now with the Connecticut Sun, and on June 13th, she was involved in another controversial play involving Clark. During the game, Griner appeared to make heavy contact with Clark while setting a moving screen, yet no foul or flagrant was called. The play was shown from several angles, which led fans to question why officials allowed it to go uncalled. Clark finished the game without attempting a single free throw, despite taking physical contact away from the ball and dealing with several hard screens. Critics argued that this created the impression that defenders could be overly physical with Clark without facing consequences. Then, on July 22, 2026, the Fever defeated the Sun 123-88. After scoring, Clark turned toward the scoreboard and pointed at it, and officials immediately assessed her a technical foul. The decision drew criticism because fans had seen Clark take significant contact throughout the game without similar calls going in her favor. Clark later said she did not understand the technical and felt the official had unnecessarily inserted himself into the situation. The league later changed the classification from a personal delay of game to a team delay of game, adding another layer to the controversy surrounding the call. What stands out is that Clark continues to play through the controversy instead of responding with retaliation. In that same blowout victory, she scored 27 points and recorded 11 assists in only 27 minutes, and she later acknowledged that her interaction with the opposing coach was enough to justify the technical foul she received. Rather than looking for payback, Clark has continued focusing on basketball while fans question why certain physical plays against her appear to go uncalled. Over time, the discussion has shifted from individual incidents involving Griner to broader questions about WNBA officiating, including missed contact, limited free throw opportunities, and technical fouls that fans believe were inconsistent. Supporters argue that this is becoming a recurring pattern rather than an isolated game. These are also the kinds of concerns that Stephen A. Smith and Sophie Cunningham have raised publicly, which has helped keep the conversation alive. While the league may choose not to comment on every controversy, the lack of public clarification continues to fuel debate among fans. If you support Sophie Cunningham, share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more WNBA stories and updates. Click the video on the screen for the next story, and we'll see you there.